If your business is making between $50,000 and $100,000 a month and you're still not sure where your profit actually goes, you'll feel stuck in the daily chaos. Your team needs you to hold their hand literally every 5 minutes, and secretly you feel like you are doing everything. But even with all the hours you put in, nothing is really moving. Then listen to me. You are not broken. Your situation is not special. You are simply building wrong. Because the thing is that most business owners at this stage are stuck in the exact same trap. And almost no one on here talks about it. Because on YouTube, you see many people that tell you how to make your first 10 grand, how to make 10 million, but no one really tells you how to break through the plateau that every single business goes through when they're in this phase. Believe me, I've seen and scaled dozens of businesses, be it in the role of a founder, be it in the role as an advisor. I've accompanied tons of businesses in this specific trap, and I want to help you to get out of this, to fix it forever. The invisible trap. Here's the pattern that I've seen in over 100 agencies and service businesses. They all get to the same stage. You put in the work, you grind, you figure out an amazing offer. You get your first clients, your revenue goes up, and suddenly you're making $50,000 to $100,000 per month. It can go so fast. It can happen 6 months, it can happen in a year. And from the outside, you're killing it. But inside, your Slack is on fire. Your team needs you for literally every decision. You simply are the bottleneck in sales, delivery, client retention. You are the problem in everything. And then you open your P&L and you ask yourself, how can I be taking home 20 to 30 grand when I'm making all this revenue? If it even is that much, because I've been in a phase where I was making that revenue and I was not taking home that much. You're just frustrated. And the problem is that most people go out and try to solve this specific chaos with more hustle, with grinding harder, with firing people, with hiring new people, trying new tools, making new offers. But then they always get to the same conclusion that none of it works. Because the problem is not what you are doing. The problem is how your business is built. Most founders learn this the hard way. But your business is a reflection of you. And honestly, most people don't realize this, but your business is a mirror. It reflects you, your decisions, your systems, your thinking. And if you built it around you, guess what? It depends on you. If you're the one solving all the problems, managing every fire, and pushing your business forward every single day, you simply did not build a business. You built a job with a few extra steps and much more stress. And the real issue is that you are honestly operating like a 20K per month freelancer, just with more cash, hopefully, and more chaos. And more team members asking you dumb questions day in and day out. So enough about the problem. Let me show you the 3 silent killers that block people that are exactly in this stage. Number 1 is no operational infrastructure. You don't have any KPIs, you don't have scorecards, you don't have SOPs, you have no org chart, you don't even know what's even happening in your company, who does what, how they do it, what a good result is. And in turn, the people have to guess what to do. And then you blame them for your lack of structure. Doesn't really make sense. Number 2 is hiring without owning that hire, because you probably don't really have employees. You have little task rabbits that if someone doesn't deliver on his task, you jump in and you have to fix it. That is not delegation. That is simply martyrdom. So you better start delegating properly and treating your employees like team members. And if they're not the right fit for your company, well, maybe you should hire someone new. Number 3 is thinking that your data is correct. But you need to understand that there is some data that lies to you. And most probably, because you're watching a business channel here, you think you're making good money, but your costs are bloated as fuck. Your required cash to deliver your products is insanely high. You have way too overpaid staff, and literally no one is tracking anything. Because when you finally do look at your numbers, it's too late. You realize that your business is a non-profit organization. this realization, my friend, sucks. We've all been there. But if you don't have the awareness for it, you will never be able to fix it. And this is the same for all three of the other points. If you are not ready to understand that this is a problem, then you won't be able to fix it. Because the reason that these problems happen is very simple. That you scaled your revenue, but your business was outscaled by the revenue itself. So your business did not scale with the revenue that you scaled it to. The thing is that I'm not telling you this to seem smart or to seem like some business guru. I'm telling you this so you can avoid the mistakes that I did, because I'm telling you this out of pain. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was 2022. My businesses were running well. I just crossed my first $100,000 per month mark, and on paper I was absolutely crushing it. But then one day to the other, I took 2 days off. I went out with my family, and in these 2 days, my employee didn't decide to work. I had one at the time. Everything slowed down. My clients got angry. I was still making money, of course, but I was trapped. The business needed me to end my vacation to survive. I had to go back home, drive, I think, 6 or 7 hours back then to get back to my laptop and get back to working, because the business needed me to function. It was like a machine that only works if I sit down and turn the gears manually every single morning. That's exactly how it was. And that's when I realized that if in my business there is a feeling that it only works when I do, I'm quite frankly not the CEO. I'm the employee. So that's when I started to rebuild my whole system and structures from the ground up, the right way this time, finally. So here is what you need to do right now. If you feel like you're stuck between this specific mark of $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue, this is what you have to do. So number one is that you have to clean up your cost structure. You need to know your real margins. You need to kill all your financial waste, throw your trash out of your house, and understand that profit, cash reserves are the oxygen for your business. If you don't have oxygen, you will die, and so will your business. Number two, create a weekly CEO rhythm. You just have to have a weekly routine. You need to have scorecards for your team where you go through the KPIs, key performance indicators, that your team has to go through. You have to track that. You have to have an eye for that. You need to have end of day reports. You need to have leadership meetings where you really solve the problems, because most of the times at that time I didn't really solve the problems, even though I told myself I did, but I didn't. Because if you do not have a rhythm as a CEO in this phase, you are destined to be stuck in this Armageddon of chaos forever. Number three is that you have to install real accountability. There can be no checking in and talking to talk, having a virtual coffee with your team, and sitting down for a coffee break. That's not how it works. That's not how you will scale your company up. You need clear goals, ownership over these goals, and consequences if these goals aren't met. And last but not least is that you need to build an acquisition system that doesn't need you to be present 24/7. Because you cannot grow your business if you're the closer, if you're the content engine, if you're the retargeting plan, if everything depends and relies on you. And how does every business grow? Well, by having more new clients. Simple. And you need to build your acquisition processes for new clients. You have to really sit down and focus your time on that. Be it creating ad funnels, be it finding a service provider that can build your funnel for you, whatever it is. But if you build this, your profit will increase. Your team will finally have the ability to level up because you have more time and you're not doing everything to acquire new clients. And the business will finally start to scale without consuming your life. Most people will never get past this stage. They will keep spinning inside of the same loops, working harder, hiring faster, then wondering why they're still stuck. But if you want to finally start scaling profitably with a real business, a real team, and real freedom, you have to let go of being the operator. You have to start becoming the architect. And if you want to finally understand how to scale through this plateau, then you better follow this channel.